They get him the basketball. He's able to turn it face on Tatum, make another move into the lane, and get nothing but the bottom for a 1-point lead.
Jerami Grant. Tyson blocked Steve Mikhailuk's shot. No chance against Jerami Grant.
The day before the NBA draft, the second biggest trade of the offseason has been completed. A trade between the Portland Trailblazers and the Detroit Pistons, where the Pistons essentially only got a first-round pick in return for a power forward / small forward, Jerami Grant, a guy that has contributed and is on a very team-friendly contract with around $20 million a year and a player option coming into that next season. Jerami Grant has showed that he can be another star and a great scorer, especially in the situation he was put in Detroit, and the Pistons are sending that away in order to receive the 2025 first-round pick, which is actually from the Milwaukee Bucks. That trade, or that pick, has made it now to 4 different teams. It began in Milwaukee, it went to New Orleans, and it went to Portland for the CJ McCollum trade. That New Orleans trade was the Drew Holiday trade. Now it's flying over to Detroit with a couple, I'm assuming some cash considerations, or something will come out later in the day or tomorrow morning where we see a little bit more about this trade. But at the end of the day, we only have this little bit right now, and that's what we're going to look at for the most part in this video. It's going to be a shorter one because there's not much going on in this video, but Jerami Grant is going to Portland, and this basically confirms the idea that a lot of people, including myself, thought or believed about Portland, is that they believe they can still contend, and they have no plans in backing down or actually rebuilding, even though Damian Lillard is only aging and the team is likely not in a spot where it can contend for a finals. We are probably not seeing the first trade that involves the Trailblazers if they intend to contend. I'd imagine they're going to have something else up their sleeve, whether that involves trading Anthony Simons in order to get a better star, a guy that's ready right now. Zach LaVine was a name that I've seen pop up some across social media. Maybe the Trailblazers are ready to win now, and they don't have much time left with Damian Lillard, so this trade kind of shows just the direction they're going in, and I'm not sure if I feel like it's a great trade for them. I think Jerami Grant is a guy that can play basically any position almost. He can definitely guard in any position. He's a guy that can go out there and he can do well on whatever team, whatever situation he's put into, whether it's a contender, whether it's a rebuilding team like Detroit, which is where he went when he got the bag we saw a few years ago. But at the end of the day, he's not a guy that's going to make your team a contender. So I don't really know if I like this trade for Portland. But if they make other trades, it's possible that they could, make this trade a little bit more better if they're able to add other pieces, guys that are more championship ready outside of what they have with Damian Lillard and Jerami Grant now. And for Detroit, I like this trade a lot. We all knew Jerami Grant was getting traded probably about 95% this offseason. There was a chance that he was getting traded, and it came out fairly earlier than I expected to actually see him get moved. But he's going to Portland. The Pistons are getting a pick back, a very, not a very valuable pick, but it saves them about $21 million in cap space. They will get about $43 million of cap space this summer, so they have a little bit of room to play with. They have some guys that maybe they'll be able to sign, and not say they'll be a great team, but a play-in team / a 8th or 9th seed could be the best case scenario with this cap space, or maybe they save it for next year where there's a little bit more of a market. But you've got guys out there like Bradley Beal. You've got guys that don't necessarily want to go and play for a massive market team. So it wouldn't be shocking if the Pistons were able to do something with this money they've opened up, and that would be the biggest plus, in my opinion, if you're making this trade and if you're a Pistons fan, because you save a lot of money. You don't necessarily get a lot of value back because it's probably going to be a projected around 20-25 pick in the draft, because I mean it's the Bucks. I doubt we're going to be that bad just in a few years. I mean, it's possible considering we don't know what happens with Giannis and all that. We've seen picks and draft picks in the past end up being actually really good when they come from a team that is actually really good when they come from a team that was good at the time, but now they're pretty bad. So it could be whatever pick it ends up being. We'll never know until we get there. But at the end of the day, that's not what the trade's for. You open up a lot of cap space. You open up a lot of flexibility going into a very big offseason. The picks only top 4 protected, so likely that you're definitely going to get it. The Blazers are also swapping second-round picks this year, so the Pistons will get the 36th overall pick. Blazers will get the 46th overall pick, just a little bit of a swap best with the Blazers. The Blazers sending the Pistons their own second-round pick in 2025 as well, and the best of their second-round picks between New Orleans and the Blazers in 2026. So the Pistons do get around what? We won't really count the one where they're just swapping 10 spots in the second round, but they get around 3 picks, a first-round pick, a late first-round pick at that, and a few second-round picks. In return, Jerami Grant goes to Portland, and like I said, if I had to give this a grade for Portland, I would say this is probably a C to a C+. I think Jerami Grant can be the start of something, but we have to really see what they're going to do the rest of this offseason, see who they're going to bring in and how they're going to go about this complete revamp or overhaul of the roster in order to be a contending team. If I'm going with Detroit, I give this an A-. I don't think it's a great package. I think maybe they could have got a little bit more, especially considering the pick is top 4 protected. So if it's a really bad Bucks team at that point, they're not going to get it, so are very unlikely that they'll get it. And if the Bucks are good, it's really going to be maybe like a late 20s, early 20s pick at best. So there's not much leeway there. You're not going to get much value out of that other than maybe a lucky star. We have seen players come out of the 20th and the 20 to 30 range and actually be solid NBA players. So it's kind of just a shot in the dark there. But you get 2 second-round picks. You go up this year around 10 spots in the second round. From 46 to 36, and other than that, you get a bunch of cap space. You're able to have flexibility for this offseason, and maybe you make a few signings to make Detroit basketball a little bit more interesting. I love this trade for Detroit. How do you guys feel about it? Just a short little video about the trade. I think it's a great one. Make sure to comment down below how you're feeling about this trade, whether you're a Pistons fan, a Blazers fan, or any fan, just a fan of the NBA. What are your guys' thoughts on this trade? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.